Okay, I should be recording now. So before I start, I want to mention that this is not easy. It's complicated, but it's not straightforward, but you can do it and it will help you for more complicated projects in the future. And in your career, if you want to be using uh, in JetBrains IDEs, so this is common for not just CLion, it's somewhat similar for IntelliJ as well. And WebStorm, all these popular JetBrains IDEs, and it will help you understand how you can automate your code when you're using Gradle and basically other current configurations. Anyways, enough digression. Let's get started. So once you have imported your files, you have downloaded your zip file, make sure, as Sanjana did, you put your posted test cases in the same folder as your PJ1 stuff. And once you do that, right, you should be able to, I'll put this down so I can see the shit. I'm sorry. But I can see the files on the left side, but initially you will not have any files. So let me clean that. Okay, ignore that. So you'll have something like this, and in the poster test cases, you have your test cases here. Before you get started, you have to make sure you have your make and your G++ installed. Now you click here, go to file, and you go to your settings. This will depend on if you are a Mac user or a Windows user. So it's extremely important that you understand the process rather than the exact steps uh, in this tutorial. Sort of, it's not a spoon feeding session, as crude as that sounds. So you would want to go to build execution deployment tool chains. So you have many options here: MinGW, Sigwin, Visual Studio, System. I have chosen to use WSL, and I would recommend using WSL because I think that CS majors, we should be striving to get familiar and comfortable with the terminal. It will help you in 365, it will help you later and make your life easier. In fact, you don't even need to use any of the files in provided by CLion. It's easier and better to do it the way Sanjana did. We are just using the GUI to automate it and help the users who are reluctant to use the terminal. I use WSL. Make sure you have WSL installed. I can help you in the Discord if you ask me, but it's just one command. It's WSL double hyphen install in your terminal. But this will be your tool set. I have chosen WSL CMake. This will be detected automatically, and it has detected make, which is what we want. We want make, we don't want C make. We have CC for C. We were not using C, but C++. Okay. Now that's done. Make sure you have that working. Any system is fine. You want to be opening your project with a make file. So when you're opening your project, make sure when you open a new project, you click on the make file and click open, and then it will give you the option to open in this window. You have to do that. Anyways, so once that's done, what you want to do is you want to go to edit configurations. Okay. The first thing you want to do is create a makefile application. So you have many options here. You have to scroll down and never mind, I'm dumb. You have to click on this one, makefile application. Once you do that, you set the name like clean. Clean is for cleaning. And I've set the working directory to be this project right here. So I've navigated to PJ1. So PJ1 is the folder, and my program argument, this is crucial. We have to put clean because if the executable is make, so we want to do make clean as given in our make file. There is nothing else which you want to care about here. So we go to the next one, PJ1. PJ1, again, our executable is make. The argument is PJ1 to compile all the files as given in the make file again. So we are just using the GUI to feed in the commands which we already know to make our lives easier down the road. Once that's done, you want to be using a shell script. Okay. So what's a shell script? A shell script is a script which you're executing from your shell. So let me open my shell here. Okay. This is Ubuntu. This is WSL. Okay. So if I do this, oh, ignore me, sorry. If I do echo shell, you can see my shell is bash. Okay. For Mac users, this will probably be ZSH. Okay. So what you want to do here is have the appropriate file extension. You can have SH, uh, SH here. I've chose to put bash ZSH because that will work as well. And my working directory is test1 because it's my first test case. And um, actually, you might have noticed that I have a new file here, which I called myscript.sh. So I should be updating that. In fact, that's my problem. I should be having this as .sh. Okay. So this is a script which I created because the one we have in the assignment, right? This is not right. This is not completely right. This will mess you up. So this is a script I wrote just now. What does it do? Essentially, this is navigating to the PJ1 executable, which we have uh, in our folder there. So I can create that by running PJ1. Okay, I run PJ1, then I get this terminal popping up annoyingly, but I will have my executable here. Okay, once I've done that, I have an executable. I can run my shell script. What does my shell script do? It takes in two arguments. It's my I file and my O file. My input file contains the initial input for the script. So this would be my uh, initial linked list. My O file is the file which I'm writing to. So when you put the write command, you will be writing to this file. Commands is the commands which you're testing against. And my output is the console log. It's the final, it's all the output which you have gotten um, from the uh, from running that case, from running that test case. Okay. So each test case has an I file and a commands file. The files which you are creating to check your work is my O file and my output. So let's try doing that. I select test case one here. Just make sure you understand how you create that configuration. So you have to make sure that you have checked off, checked out, execute in the terminal. This depends, but what it essentially does is it defaults to the shell language which you have. So if I check this, it will be running in Windows PowerShell. I hate Windows PowerShell, so I don't want to be using that. That's why I've unticked it and made sure that IntelliJ detects itself that I want it to run my script using bash. Okay. You could also have a shebang here, something like user bin. It's slightly complicated if you don't know what you're doing, but if you know what you're doing, you don't need this tutorial anyways. Okay, so just you can do that. I run my test case now after enough yapping, and I'm getting an error here. Test case one executable is not specified. That's extremely funny. So I have to debug it in front of you right now. So I have my script.sh right, and I have not specified an interpreter path. This is important, okay? So my interpreter is bash. It's in my WSL file system. So you need to check script file, have a script path, have the working directory, uh, the test cases are in, like which one you're referring to, and have the interpreter path there. I click apply, click OK. Now it should work. Okay, it works now. And I have my output file, my O file, my output, and the given O file output one, which you don't touch. Those are for you to compare. Now let's use the magic of, now let's start using the benefits or the magic of using this complicated CLion system. Complicated if you don't know what you're doing. So you hold Alt and you select those files and do Control D. D for Doha or D for Doraemon, D for, you do Control D. So you can see my contents are identical. I can do the same for my output. Voila, they're both same. So that's how I know my shit is working. Excuse me for my language. Similarly, I have just duplicated my file configuration. It's the same thing, almost the same thing. I've just changed one number here from 1 to 2. So you can duplicate it using this one. Let me, for demonstration purposes, show you how to do it for a lot more test cases. I'm sorry for wasting your time, but this is what I decided to do with my day. Okay. So this is the benefit of going through the hassle of setting up uh, your your making sure your G++ is installed, your make is installed, your build path is working. Okay, so I'll make sure to do okay here. Let's do test case 3. Okay, by the way, make sure if every time you're making changes to your code, you run PJ1. So you run PJ1 before you test PJ1, if that makes sense. Let's check test case 2 now. Okay, I'll open all the files I had open so we can see in real time. Okay. Uh Test case 2, I have my shit there. Test case 3, boop, I got my shit there. I keep swearing, sorry. Test case 4, um, I have my stuff there. Test case 5, I have my stuff there. Test case 6, I have my stuff there. So you can see how quickly you can start checking your work. So my O file, I compare again. My output, I compare again. So essentially you can see, right, this will help speeden up your code. So if I want to make changes to my file, let's say uh, I do something like blah, blah, blah. Okay, I do that. I do feature 1. I run my program. You can see I have an error here. Okay, so let's say my error is more subtle. Oh, wait, I can't show you that because the assignment is not due today. Okay, but essentially, we can see that every time I make changes, I can run PJ1 and these files will update automatically. That's the magic of it. So let me redo. I run PJ1. Okay, I have an error there, right? Okay, so it's basically working at the moment because it doesn't create an executable. But you can keep those windows open. So every time your code compiles properly, you can just look at the window again. So it updates in real time as a live server page would. So there's a lot of talking. I hope that helps. If you have difficulties understanding instructions, understanding some instructions, then I would try to help you out. But more likely, it's a better use of your time to use the terminal. So I can show you just how easy it is if you stick to the terminal. Okay. So let me go back to the home directory. So I have my files here. So let me do make picture 1 here. Okay, let's do make clean first. Okay, then make clean. And you can see I can create commands off the top of my head because I've used the terminal. And I recommend you being able to do that as well. So I've done that. I have my files listed here. And let me cd to test case 2, let's say. Okay. And let's look at the files. Okay. So I have all the files here. So command has print write, and I'm expected to get 00. So let me run here. These are all commands I wrote beforehand for testing purposes. So I'm redirecting. It's the same command which I have in my script here. I run that. And once I have that, I can do diffs. I can check my output. So diff my file, there's no difference because my code is perfect and my output. So that's correct. But what's even more amazing and what you should be doing is this. I file my profile. Okay. Now it's running in an interactive environment. So let me do print. So my I file had files had 1, 2 in it. That's why my initial list is 1, 2. But let me do this. Uh, delete 1, delete 2, print. See that? Let me do append 1, print. My code has a bug. No, the test cases are not good enough, guys. But anyways, this will help you debug your code. If you have seg faults, then it will help you know which function is messing you up rather than relying on grade scope. All the best. That's all from me. I wish you guys best of luck. Have fun.